Today I want to talk about the challenge of overconfidence. Next week, I'm going to talk about the challenge of lack of confidence or insecurity. And I'm going to shoot them both today, so you're going to see me dressed in the same things. They're fresh in my mind, I want to get them out. But relative to the overconfidence thing, what's interesting to me about overconfidence is how often we live this life of fake it till you make it, so to speak. And the question, as I sit here pondering it, becomes, what is this overconfidence thing costing us? Is there a cost to it? How does it impact us? How does it impact those around us? And I see so many parallels of it. And it can come from whether or not it's a person in this position, whatever this position is in the office, who thinks they know way more than they do, and telling people they know way more than they do, and then faking it and messing it up. Or whether it's you have this other person who's sitting here quietly just going about doing stuff, thinking they know it, not being boisterous about it, but quietly doing what they're doing and still doing it wrong. And the challenge there becomes, what's that cost you, yourself, your reputation? What's that cost your organization? What's it cost your family? What's it cost you in your job? There's so many areas where I see overconfidence can bite us in the hiney. And this is a great topic for me to speak on because I used to be this fool. I used to be someone who thought way too much of myself. My wife would confirm this, I'm sure. And I even think back to when I first started doing this speaking business. I thought I was great and fabulous. And a very dear friend of mine pulled me aside one day and said, hey, you should check out Toastmasters. And of course, 6 years later, I know what that meant now. It meant, dude, you're not very good. You should get some training because you're trying to be a speaker and you're okay, but you're not good. And yet I thought I was just fabulous and amazing. And I still think I'm fabulous and amazing. And I'm sure there's some of you watching going, oh, God, would he just shut up? So I probably still have some growing to do in this area. Overconfidence is an interesting thing because you have to have some of it, not overconfidence, but you have to have some confidence even if you're trying something for the first time, because if you go in thinking you're going to fail, you will fail. Right? We use that metaphor all the time. I go up to a par 3 hole on a golf course, and I'm getting ready to tee off, and I see this water hazard in front of me, and if I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I'm going to hit that, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to be in the water. But by the same token, if I just walk up going, like tin cup, I can put it in. I can do it from here. Give me the 3-wood, or whatever it was. You get disqualified, you lose $1 million, and yay, that's awesome. No one ever forgets you because you burned down in a blaze of glory. So where's the healthy balance in the middle is really the question. And that's why I think these two shows, this week and next week, are going to be an interesting dichotomy of contrast of how these things can work and how they can affect us in a positive way and a negative way. For those of you who deliver anesthesia, remember back the first time you gave your first injection, and you knew how to do it because you'd been trained, because your first injection was on an orange, and the orange didn't complain too much. But now you're going into the patient's mouth, and you're sitting there going, and the patient's probably, if it's a friend of yours, you can't snow them at all, but if it's someone you don't know, they're looking at you going, hey, do you know what you're doing? You're like, oh yeah, I've done this hundreds of times. With an orange. And you're sitting there going, what? So we end up being so afraid of being real that we swing to the opposite extreme. And I find that these pendulums are so profound with lots of people. It's like the person who all of a sudden goes from being an addict of some sort to all of a sudden they give up their addiction, in the short run anyway, and they swing to the opposite extreme of the pendulum where they're looking down on people who have that same problem. And now everybody they see has that problem. And they paint with this crazy brush all over the place. So I find that instead of landing in the happy middle, we go from one extreme to the other extreme, and we can't for some reason figure out how to be in the middle. Somewhere where we're comfortable, as opposed to somewhere where we're trying to fake it so much, or we're so over vulnerable that we're oversharing too much. Like, oh yeah, I don't have any clue what I'm doing. This brain surgery is going to be a lot of fun though. Are you okay? And the person's sitting there freaking out. So I understand that there's a pressure thing that we all have to realize. We all have to be able to deal with this pressure of external expectation that's upon us. But I'm not sure if swinging to the opposite extreme of overconfident is the right way to do it. I hope you've enjoyed this show. If there's other content or topics you want to see, please send us a message. We'd love to hear what requests you have. We're happy to shoot whatever it is you want to see. All you have to do is let us know. Can't wait to see you until next time. Have a wonderful day.